Welcome to the Dada and Boys podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Dada and Boys podcast. Brand new episode, IMDb. I am the host. Before we get to today's interview, if you can smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. So, speaking of today's interview, this man to my left, Mr. Daniel, we have had countless conversations at the gym. Countless. When you and I are at the gym together, I think we probably converse more than we actually work out. And this started maybe 2 years ago. This has been 2 years in the making here. We've talked about father life, parent life, co-parenting, because you are co-parenting as well. You are co-parenting as well. And when we have these conversations, we kind of just go down a rabbit hole. And you're telling me about a story about this. And then when I get home from that workout, I substitute my protein drink for some alcohol because I'm just depressed as all shit. So Daniel, 2 kids?
2 beautiful boys.
Ages?
12 and 11.
12 and 11. Okay, so mine's 7 and 2. And there's actually one thing that you told me in one of our countless conversations, because we have each other on social media, and you've seen my social media. And one thing you told me, and I was like, it kind of warmed my cockles. You know, you're like, man, I see the video between you and your boy. You're like, I'm just so happy for you, man. I love seeing it.
Yes, sir.
And that's the kind of the dad positivity that we need in today's society.
Absolutely. But what I might add to that is we live in nothing but a challenging and very difficult world. And it is really hard to say or dictate, an individual's upbringing, let alone where their current standing is. And there's just an immense full parts of variables that are absolutely affecting the parents and the children. And for me personally, the world has like almost defaulted into what is me versus you, me. And it's a type of selfishism. Everyone wants to not care about anything and everything but themselves. And as a father, I have children, you have children, for those of y'all with children, why wouldn't you want to be happy for someone else? Just starting right there. And if you're not happy for someone else, how could you co-parent? How could you be friends? How could you have a relationship or a tie? It's not fruitful in any way, shape, or form. And for you to add to that, yes, any father that I see or mother, if you're out there and you're really being a parent, you're not out there being selfish, me, I need me time. Because, I got thrown under the bus for that too, via even just for working out. But then again, these children are looking up to us, and at least I'm working out and conditioning myself and being healthy, so they're actually possibly picking up on that and learning on that. You as a father spending time with your son, many conversations we had where you were like, I'm having some rough days that time. And I was like, well, I feel you. I really do. And, the gym for me was my Dr. Phil, no TV show. No matter how I feel, I will go over there to doctor myself. And that's exactly what I found you doing.
So how is the co-parenting dynamic for you?
Up and down, I'm far from perfect. I'm a human being. I'm a man. In society, we're always the monster. We're always the villain. You might put on the wrong cape that day. You don't know. You were feeling like Superman, and they might view you as stupid man, for all you know. And it could start with a very happy conversation. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Oh, you're up. Bleep, 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 bleep. Nice. All right. It's one of those days, and just to keep it on simple terms. But for me, it's been lovely. It could be all hate. It could not be there at all. No fingers needed to be pointed whatsoever. I'm a man. Everything I've done has its own ramifications, good and bad. I wouldn't care to hear anyone tell me how to dictate any of that. It's happened already. It's already past tense. All I can do is either build or work on that, or even better yet, solutionize. Errors are errors, and errors always lead to mistakes.
We talk about co-parenting. Me and my baby's mother wasn't the most amicable type of thing, right? But one thing that I can say about her is that very early on, we decided, it's for him. It's for him. We may not like each other most of the time. That's fine. Perfectly fine. As long as we can be amicable and cordial for him, fuck our egos, fuck our pride. It's about him. That's it.
Right.
That's it. And doing this podcast, I've talked to a lot of parents where they don't have that luxury where they're able to co-parent with the other parent. So you go to the gym, you condition your body. How are you conditioning your mind?
The gym. Because, the lifestyle that I came from, which is all over the place, it was nothing but conditioning. It's programming. You're literally having to understand that you're only serving your memories to actually behave for your present moment. And that dictates everything, because also who is in and not in your life. Those are all also impending parts to your life of how you're being influenced. So in my case, I was raised more as a solo child for quite a few years. So I was raised with a lot of love and nurturement and a lot of discipline. My weekends, I was cutting grass and throwing out the trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was being forced to wash my uncle's cars and stuff like that. When I say forced, not like meanly, like,
Yeah.
I'm actually proud and glad. It taught me a lot of structure and discipline. So at the same time, like, a lot of our children don't get that. They really don't. It's tablets and Nintendos.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The way I mentally condition myself is the fact that I do sit there and I retrogress. I go through my progressions. Like, I am at fault for everything that's my life. I welcomed it. I enabled it. I allowed it until you don't. And at the gym, it's nothing but pain. It's nothing but pain. And I tell you what, because you go to the gym and you just see people full of shit. Full of shit. People coming straight out the sauna, sweaty, jump on the treadmill, pull their phones out. Oh, yeah, I'm working out hard.
Let me tag myself on Facebook real quick.
But then there's people in there going through pain. I was one of those guys. Shamefully, I say shamefully. I started by going back out of straight misery. I was just devastated. Didn't like the way things had panned out. It wasn't the plan.
Like what?
The separation.
What caused that pain?
Again, myself. I take full blame for anything and everything. Point that finger at me. You don't ever want to break a family. It wasn't drugs. It wasn't alcohol. That wasn't the problem. That wasn't the case at all. For a lot of you guys, postpartum, I don't know what the fuck that was. Okay? Until I was introduced to it. And, I had to ordeal with that with somebody who was possibly going through that. I didn't know. As far as I'm concerned, man, this shit is crazy. What the hell is going on? Emotions run all over the place, and you're fighting, you're bumping heads. And again, when you're not educated on it or even knowing of it, man, this person's just crazy. This is, without trying to point the finger, is what I'm saying is, me and the mother of my kids were in the unknown. It was new to us. We just started a family. We had 2 baby boys back to back. And, those hormones were all over the place. But life wasn't easy at all, neither. We were living on our own. We had our own bills. I was a fumigation technician. And, I'm on the road. Gone. And we have to pay for 2 baby boys to be babysitting. And at the time, even me being well paid, that was the whole paycheck.
Yeah.
Rent, cost of living, which is, food, gas, you name it. It just, for 2 people, even with the good amount of money we were making, what money were you really left with? And that was an onset of challenges and obstacles. And again, it affected our mental. It made us bump heads in good ways. It wasn't like all bad. We weren't harming each other. We weren't fighting, cheating on each other. That really wasn't that at all. And I say that confidence. But most people are burdened by financial struggles. And here's the kicker. Where's family at? Where are those family and friends at? Oh, man, they quick to, you want to go have a drink? Oh, they're magically there. I got to go work. Can someone babysit? Oh, no, I'm too busy. I can't. And there it is. So we had to find a way to get our children babysitted so we can continue paying the bills and providing. We're now a ongoing building family. And no one helps you but you guys. It's your own family, and that's cool. You don't point fingers. Like we were figuring it out, but it was not easy. The finances, even over $5,000 a month type, like back then, which, like I said, that's over 10 years ago. Minimum wage was way different than what people complain and bitch about now. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, we're talking barely like $8 an hour to 10 somewhere barely. You know what I mean? And y'all bitching about 20 plus at McDonald's. McDonald's was still kicking you $6.25. You know, I mean, I'm glad I wasn't working that, but as a fumigation technician, even getting paid while I'm on the road, you know, it was just all there. How are you broke? And when I mean broke, we have money to ourselves, but you're not really living the American dream. It became the American life. You're just slaving away to jobs.
So you contribute whatever she was going through was postpartum. So on your end, was your attitude just like, there's nothing wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Like, were you just naive to what was going on? Were you not emotionally available? Did you just...
I was emotionally available, but I mean, like, hey, you just right there. Life's happening out of nowhere. You get some shit thrown at you. I ain't talking verbal. I'm talking like physically. Some shit was just thrown at me. I'm like, hey, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is wrong with you? And I don't know. That was my response. I don't know. Tears started coming down. You could see frustration. You could see an animosity that was there. Of course, I didn't know what was wrong. I mean, I'm really baffled. I guess it's my fault. I just got that shit thrown at me. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're just never doing enough. Maybe you did too much. Maybe I was just a little pale that day. Maybe I should have touched that Pepsi can. You just did not know. It was always the unknown. It was constant frustration. It was just like some would say they were battling their demons. I come to understand and realize it was hormones being all out of place. You know, again, that leads on postpartum for those of you that are not really educated on the subject. So, like, once you know it's bigger than just even a person's upbringing, like we had our baby boys back to back. You know, she was really adamant on that. You know, she put the pressure on me. She's like, hey, we gonna have another one. Say what? She was like, now, you know, and it's like now, like we just had one. Like, now sounds like now. I had to use the whole like, hey, the doctor said I don't give a shit what the doctor said. I was like, okay, like, you know, and we did. So we had our second baby. So she got pregnant literally within 6, 7, 8 weeks of recovery of the first baby. Okay, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. First of all, this is my first rodeo show of having a kid in the first place. Okay, so I don't care how people think or feel. You don't know how to be a son until you're a dad. And you don't know how to be a dad until you have a son. Okay, it's a process. It's a due process. Life has to happen. Ain't no literature out there that's going to put you on game and teach you how to be a dad. That's a bunch of bullshit. You better come with some life knowledge or experience, or you're in the world of learning, good and bad.
You talked about your upbringing. So you were ingrained early on to be a family man.
Yes, sir.
So then you had your own family. It's nothing like we can picture, right? There's no books on how to be a dad.
No.
Being a dad is one of the hardest things, but at the same time, it's one of the easiest things. Because to me, I always felt like I never had a purpose in life. I'm like, what was my purpose? I go to work, I make some money so I can go party on the weekends, right? There's a void in you that you try to fill, and you're gonna do whatever you can to fill it. I go to the gym, but I'm only there just for the social aspect of it.
Okay.
I go to work. Hey, where are we drinking at this weekend, right? Then my little boy came. We had him very early on in the relationship. Were we ready to be parents? We weren't ready, but I was ready. Because when he came, my whole world changed. Changed me for the absolute better. I cut out my bullshit. I got a big boy job. And it was just like, okay, now I know my purpose. Right? So being a parent, it's hard, but at the same time, it's very easy because it came naturally to me. Did being a dad come naturally to you?
Absolutely. I love real big. That's one of my Achilles heels. I'm a lover, man. Just like I told you, I showed you love from day one. I didn't have to. I didn't know you. I chose to. At age 25, I became a dad. You know, I heard from age 13 to 15, you're going to have all kinds of kids. You're going to knock up all these girls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What the fuck? What kind of shit are you guys putting in my head? I like basketball. I'm getting in trouble from jumping off my grandma's roof. Like, can I be a kid? What you mean I'm going to have a kid? I'm a kid. Okay, so for the record, like, we come from a Hispanic family. They were giving me little sips of beer and little shots here and there on those weekends. That's what I'm saying. They're like, oh, here you go, mijo. Whoa, you know what I mean? I'm over here like, man, it's just nasty. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, growing up, man, fuck alcohol. That shit tastes gross, man. Me personally is what I'm saying. But see, again, variables. We all have variables. And in my case, my family made me be like, man, y'all nasty. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean nasty like I was prejudiced against it. Like, yo, yeah, soda tastes better than alcohol. Una agua fresca, that tastes even better. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, like, I guess I had my own little void. I'm trying to discover and find myself as well. They don't teach us how to find us. They teach us to idolize and find someone to be like, you know? So I never really cared for celebrities. So I wasn't heavily influenced. I grew up a little stubborn. My uncle was, in a couple of military branches. You know, he did his whole little Olympic thing. He's decorated. He's awesome, man. Shout out to my uncle. You're a badass. And he took me and my cousin Michael every weekend without failure to play sports, play basketball and stuff like that. So I guess in a way he was teaching us some purpose and identity. You know, he was my second dad, my actual father. You know, shout out to my pops, big time, my hero. Hardworking man. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to work. He's family oriented, but he just wants to work and then work. And it's like, God damn it, can you just stop working? I want my dad back.
That's a Mexican father right there.
100%. You know, and again, to everyone who's had a dad like that, man, say thank you. Forgive and forget that shit that we grew up having, resentment and shit, because that leads to what you said. I have my fun. You know, I'm already on probation by age 15, 16. You know, I was over there easily in the streets. I was raised by men. I don't know what the hell being a little kid was. I was a little man. You know what I mean? And so I was already used to alcohol, like I said. Probably had a higher tolerance than the typical 20-something-year-old. And I started partying at a very young age, being the oldest, getting along with nothing but old people. All my homeboys, man, they were all hella old. I got along with the hood men, you know. Like, I grew up with all the races. I grew up wanting shit. I grew up having shit because I didn't wait for my pops. I had to watch my dad break his back. My dad physically herniated both of his lower discs. My father has been physically hurt since age 23. And he doesn't stop working. Okay? But I watched my father cry with my mother crying with him, literally saying, just don't go to work. And I'll never forget this shit, man. Hearing my dad, he didn't know I was standing right there. He goes, I got to go to work. My son needs new shoes. He's not going to go to school with old clothes, and my son needs new shoes. And he would get injections in his back, and it was shock therapy my mother has to have to do, kind of how they revive you. They were doing that to my dad's back. You know, I'm kind of getting the chills right now, man, because that shit just, Dad, you're my hero.
He's a real one.
Man, let me tell you. So, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, how the fuck that don't wake you up? How does that not motivate you? I mean, like, when you said I knew I was ready to be a dad, so did I. When my first son came, my whole universe changed. Everything in my bone marrow to my soul. I was there stuck in time, bro. When my son came out, the nurse had to check on me because I was just standing there like, just, that's it, unresponsive. And I remember, like, life slowed down. I just recalled the first time I made it, I was like, I'm good. So I like told the nurse and the doctor, right? And my son turned and looked right my direction, man. right out the womb. And I knew I was destined to be a dad at that point without hesitation. See, that child was conceived and created out of love. I'm lucky on that part. And with my family upbringing, all that, like, there was already a chip on my shoulder individually. But being raised by nothing but men, you don't even know you're kind of growing up to be big bro. You know? So even though a lot of my guys were older than me, they used to call me big bro. You know what I mean? Because I was always athletic. I always had a type of build to me. And when my son came out, like you said, fuck partying. All the weed smoking, you know, all the vices, all the bullshit that one was doing and shit. And yeah, I dibbled and dabbled. I tried a little bit of everything. The fuck, I'm an American. No, ignorant as fuck at some point. 100%. I was hustling. You know what I'm saying? Just, I had it all. It was the fast life. But when my son was born, nah, it was none of that life. It was dad life. And I was already with, you know, my children's mother for quite a time right there. We actually went a few years before we had our first child. So I just, there's no script for this, like you said, man. You just, everything dropped there. I went super clean, super legit, no, like cold turkey. I didn't need no intervention. I didn't need shit. It was just, I'm a dad now. This shit's phenomenal.
That's who I am.
Yes, sir. You know, and again, like I said, you know, just a couple of weeks after that, you know, I'm being peer pressure, you know what I'm saying, to have another one. So, you know, that life was definitely put upon me. You know, she got pregnant again. So, oh boy, here we go again.
So how old were the boys when you guys separated?
Oh, shit. Going about 4 years. 4 years old.
So they're about 4?
Yeah.
The oldest is 4?
The oldest, yeah. Like 3, man. So that shit rocked my world. That shit fucked my whole life up, man. That shit hurt. Still ain't recovered. How could you? You know what I'm saying? I helped create that. They came from me, bro. Yeah, I mean, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what people got to say. It really doesn't, man. Like, those are my little best friends. They're my why. You know, my reason. And I say this shit with tremendous pain. Like, I ain't never fucking happy, man. I ain't never happy. I ain't in there daily. You know, I say that with so much disdain for how shit played out. You know, it wasn't like selfish needs. Wasn't on fucking dope. Wasn't a weed head. Wasn't none of that shit, man. I was sober. And on behalf of her circle, she was being influenced to think and feel a type of way. And they were trying to coach her up to not like me. You know what I mean? And I saw some of the red flags, and I saw some of the shady ass shit they were doing. So, of course, I was starting to combat it. Only making me kryptonite, right? So, you know, all that starts playing factors and variables. The families start getting involved. All that starts really happening. And back then, we don't know what we're doing. So it was it was just a disaster for absolute catastrophe. Like, just, it didn't pan out at all the way we had planned out. And to help cope with what we thought we were doing right, decided to let my kid's mom go be with her biological mom, which was out of state. And there was a big, just turn the page right there, a big downfall. You know, the economy did not allow me to fully get on my feet as fast as I'd like to, working jobs. And it was really fucked up, man. Just, I never ran to vices, drugs, and friends. But I didn't necessarily run to God as well. I go back and look back, and I was like, I still have people in my ear influencing me as well. And that kind of fucked it all up. It really did. I should have just ran just to God, to be honest. You know, because I started having a lot of hate and resentment in my heart. And that's where I was destroying myself. Self-sabotage.
You said they're out of state now?
Yes.
How long has that been?
Years. Different state now, you know. Keep that disclosed, but from one state to another. Living a good life, you know what I mean? They're healthy, you know, 4.0 GPA students, and mom's doing an immaculate job, you know. blessed, grateful. She's awesome. She's amazing.
How often do you get to see them?
Not as often as I like to. You know, that's the point. Work for them, school. You know, the first few years, it wasn't good co-parenting. Like I said, I was angry. I was frustrated. The plan didn't pan out the way it did. And again, influences people made it where I would just put it in simple terms. Like I said, we were being pitted against each other. You know, so classic American textbook. I hate you. You hate me. Your fault. No, your fault. You know, and come now, right here on this microphone, I accept all flaws. I accept all blame. I even whatever I used to blame her for, even if she could stand up and just be like, man, well, I fucked up. I did this too. I don't give a shit. It's on me. It is on me. I got to be real at this point. You know what I mean? Whether I was educated and ready for it or not, I don't give a shit, bro. I should have been ready. That's something I'll tell every parent trying to be a parent, male to male, dad to dad. It is your job to be ready for one of the biggest blessings and challenges you can ever have in your life, which is becoming a parent. So, womp, 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 blah, blah, blah. Mommy, daddy didn't this for me. Family. Man, I don't give a shit, bro. You shouldn't be having kids if you ain't ready. Because our children don't pick us as parents. Okay? So I think one of the saddest things is parents trying to act like, honestly, their children are a liability when that could never be the case.
So you agreed for the kids to go. Why?
Yes.
Why did the kids go there? And was there a fight to, no, fuck that, I'll keep them, or you know what? You're leaving, I'm leaving too.
Nah, it wasn't that. The mother of my kids needed some help, man. Remember, she's the one going through the hormonal change, a back-to-back kid, the postpartum, essentially the hit. And, me personally, like...
But now we're 4 years, 5 years after, right?
Correct. No, so co-parenting got better. It's different. We do it all for the children too. Don't get it wrong. Like, on her behalf, she's done so much. She's done so much. She was able to stay with the kid. What it was is, you speak on love and what's better for the kids. If they stood here with me in California, need I remind you, one of the fundamental problems was who's watching the babies while we go to work. For her, where she was relocated, there was help. There was a babysitter, family at that too. We didn't trust just dropping our children off at babysitters and, but they're licensed and man, fuck all that. No, fuck all that, because we barely trust our own relatives. No disrespect, no shade. Just, because I love my family. They're good. I do trust them. But at the time when you're going through that shit, man, everything just weighs so heavy on your conscience. Everything weighs a type of burden on your mental. It was a struggle, hella expensive. Do you trust them? They come back with a little bruise, you're thinking the worst instead of just, it happens. So she asked, we had a conversation, may I take the kids? Yes, you may. There's babysitting over there, and you're the one going through it hormonally and stuff like that. It wasn't me. That was one of the first man-ups I did take. It was like, yeah, go ahead. See you up there soon. My see you up there soon didn't pan out. So I don't regret it. I just like it. It weighs heavy on me. I had to face some demons. I had to hear those little voices running up and down the hallway when they ain't running up and down the hallway. You know what I mean? I'm talking suicidal emotions, bro. Fucked my life up, bro. Real talk. People don't know that shit about me. But, bro, I was heartbroken.
You can imagine.
And it was for the better of her, for the better of my kids. You get to watch those smiles. She's smiling. The kid's smiling. Kids don't know better, man. They're young. Okay, so, oh, look at me. Have a amazing Christmas. Oh, well, fuck my life, huh? I don't have that smile on my face. I don't have that, and that's not blaming her.
That shit must be hard though. I mean, having missing holidays, missing different type of events, functions, school functions. I was telling you, my boy has a basketball game tomorrow. I mean, how do you manage? The gym closes.
I hated that. GB3, you suck. So what happened was, like I said, those where I was facing my demons, brother. Like, this is life. These are some of the ramifications for some of the choices that were made. Now, for the betterment, where my heart was in the right place at first, is like, take the kids, we'll be back together. When it didn't happen, when it wasn't happening, when I was missing some of those events, yeah, bro, it's crushing, it's devastating. It's life altering. It defeats a man. It does. It also creates. In those moments, are you going to build? And again, I didn't run to drugs. I didn't run to alcohol. Like I said, I think maybe that's why there was a lot more clarity still, in a way. So that clarity kind of came daunting. It really psychologically took an effect on me. You start having flashbacks. Memories hit you hard. The gym became my therapy session. Because you got to internalize, you got to look at yourself too. And where I was at there, the depression, the stress, the way life was, all of us were stuck in the matrix. All of us have been stuck in the matrix. So getting out the matrix is really getting clarity to your own spirituality without saying it's religion. Physically, tired of hearing all these little boys and guys running around like, oh, I'm not scared, I'm alpha, and I could shut your ass up and sit your ass down. Okay? You're the first motherfucker to get your ass beat. You can't defend shit, homie. You probably barely know how to wipe your own ass. Okay? So when you in the gym, don't ego lift. Don't go and just start, YouTube and like stuff like that was really peaking in those years. And all of a sudden you a trainer. All of a sudden you learn how to get to 50 push-ups and you a bad motherfucker, right? And on the contrary, good sir, because some of us have already now developed a different type of skill set. Kudos to every man who suffered and built himself back up in the gym. Don't let nobody call you no gym rat. One of the greatest disciplines you can learn is physical training. Become that warrior. Because in my case, I don't give a fuck what I could ever say about myself. I better actually physically become something. If not, what good am I to my own children? Better yet that. If I can't carry both of my kids around, if I got these little Panda Express noodles on a diet type arms, the fuck am I going to do? I had to carry my children around Disneyland, both of them like this, for hours. Dad, my feet hurt. Dad, I'm getting blisters. Dad's arm's about to fall off. Yeah.
A little pool wagon will do wonders.
The thing is, they were like, I want Dad to carry me. So Dad had to get some muscle. You know what I'm saying? So I just started really going to the gym and just staying away from people more and more. But I was kind of raised a conspiracy theorist. So they used to say, now I'm here to say, man, I told all y'all motherfuckers, and I was right. All this shit has come to the light and truth. We've been bamboozled. We've been fucked over by our own corrupt parts of the government, culture, misidentifying that. Something what I was telling you, like men really lose themselves. You spoke on that a little earlier, about like you were trying to seek and find yourself. If you over here liking somebody and their celebrity name starts with Lil something or something like that, I mean, the odds are you probably a goofy ass motherfucker in the first place. And shout out to Lil Wayne, man. You raw, you sick. So not trying to be in particular, but it's kind of true because I finally idolized somebody that was Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. Not too bad of an influence, because he was all work, no play.
Oh yeah.
Okay, he was a dad.
One of my favorite things right now is go on social media, look at Kobe's stories, and there's a ton of them.
Legacy.
There's a ton of them.
Legacy. What would you agree with me that the majority of his life he had to be called crazy?
Oh yeah, still is. I'm sure.
I love when people call me crazy. You dubbed me that one time in the gym. You were like, hey, bro, I do 100 reps per exercise. Then I go heavy. Well, you mean you're doing that too? Yeah, bro. I'm doing 225 after 100 reps. But I'm going to do 100 reps like that. You're like, bro, you're crazy. And I was like, I know. Right? Because that's the point. That's the goal. I said I was influenced by somebody and it was by a crazy man. Or was he crazy? I think it's crazy of a man to not give it his 100. In our reality, you know what I mean?
If you think about it, I had heard that he used to take off in his helicopter to his daughter's basketball games because he didn't want to sit in traffic. That way he can stay at home a little bit longer.
Ask people who weren't even on the same team with them, his rivals, his opponents. Man, I remember we played the Lakers. We were all at the club when we would force Kobe to go out there. That's how you could tell he was a real homie. He would go out there 1-2 hours, sit down. He goes, we hated invited this motherfucker. Everybody wanted to talk to him, right? All he did was smile, shake hands, leave. Why? He said, see y'all 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Right? Hey.
And then at 4 a.m., all right, I came with y'all.
Y'all coming with me.
Now you're coming with me.
Y'all know the stories. Go check that shit out online, right? So that is right there, man. He was all business. He was a family man. He was him. Who the hell you think he followed? Himself.
Jordan.
Hey, not a bad deed to do.
Another crazy man.
Crazy
right?
following crazy. You see the recipe here? You know what I mean? So like, it's just like I developed a sense of crazyism. I want to do more than you. I got to do more. Another rep, another set. More is never enough. That's what the best men and women do in life. They're not selfish. They're some of the greatest givers. How can I give if I'm not even superior within my own walk of life? You know what I'm saying? So Kobe was able to give. Even a Lamar Odom story came. Everyone turned on Lamar Odom. He was down hundreds of thousands of dollars. He said, nobody. He goes, I was on my last contact. Guess what name was that contact on his phone?
Aside from the bunny at the bunny ranch.
They didn't even want to help him. You know what I mean? So he goes, it was Kobe. It's a video that just recently has been out not too long. And he goes, I don't even want to call Kobe. He goes, I know that motherfucker ain't giving me shit because he was that strict, that stern, and not about that life. And then you could just see that pain in Lamar's eyes, though. He goes, but guess who bailed me out? Kobe did. He said, how much? Spoke on it. Cut him the funds, right? And they even asked him in an interview. They're like, you pay that back? He goes, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because that integrity, that honor, all of a sudden you're not crazy, huh? When you're a provider. All of a sudden you're not crazy when you're capable and you're able to. And that's just by full-blown dedication. You get what I'm saying? I'd rather be with the people where at least we admire each other. At least we respect each other. No one likes me at first. Nobody. It's like, I don't like him. Then it goes to like, I hate him. Then they start asking why they hate me. And then they start going neutral.
Maybe he's not so bad.
Then they start liking me, right? Next thing you know, you my friend. You my brother. Because I lead with love. I put respect out first. I was actually taught that. Baffled me all my teenager years. Mijo. Yes, Dad. Learn to respect people first. Oh, Dad, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. What the fuck am I telling my dad? He don't know what to talk about. First of all, fuck it. The ignorancies that I was, showing.
Hey, you call your dad right now and apologize to him right now.
I already did a couple of times in person. I had to tell him he's right, man. Give him his kudos, give him his flowers. So what I'm trying to say is, in reality, that speaks on another person's character more than even yours because my character is already set in stone. I'm going to give you respect first because I don't know you and I don't owe you. And if I gave you respect first, you don't give it back, that shows who the fuck you are. You couldn't even give a common courtesy back. You can't even respect back. Man, who the fuck you think you is? Okay, so that taught me a lot. And in that gym is where I really learned to heighten myself. It wasn't the gym. You know what gyms help you realize? A lot of people don't know how to shower.
Use deodorant.
I almost sprayed a couple people with Lysol can, you feel me? Like, it was bad. So, like, what I'm saying is people lack hygiene. People lack common courtesy. People lack fundamentals, man. And people actually really lack good people in their life. I came to notice the last 5 years, last half a decade, everyone's influenced by negativity, dark forces, and this narcissism that the world is supposed to revolve around them. Like, yo, we don't even revolve around shit. Like, they call it a matrix for a reason. Everyone has a million things going on within your own walk of life because someone next to you has a million things going on. Now, if you do the math, that's a trillion of things happening at once right now as me and you are hosting this right here, this conversation, okay? Everyone has shit happening. Someone's being buried right now. Someone's being rushed to the hospital. Someone's being passed an award. Someone's being celebrated. All right now. So how the fuck could we live wanting everything just to revolve around us? That's what's crazy to me. But I'm being told I'm crazy because, you know what I'm saying, I'm in the gym and just putting this work in. You know what I mean? Because my sons, that's one thing they do appreciate me. Dad, you're strong. Dad, you're healthy. Oh, Dad, my friends, when I show them the videos or when I would go visit and stuff, like, man, your dad is jacked, you know? And I was like, noise, you know? Because I work for this shit, man. And I don't give a shit about what I look like. I've told you this since you met me. Oh, yeah, bro, I don't give a fuck what I look like. You sure? No, I don't care. I don't work out for that at all.
How has your relationship life with other women have been since your separation? I mean, did you use your separation as a guide to, you know what, now I know what to be, or now I know what to look for?
I was blessed, brother. She was awesome. She was great. It wasn't her fault, her problem. I had a best friend. Okay. I didn't run to women. I told you I didn't run to people. You know, I started running to guy. I don't really like dating. Dating is corny because it's matrix shit. It's fantasy shit. It's shit Hollywood has programmed people. You know what dating really is when you platonically really start gelling and meshing with someone organically. Normally, those are God-sent relations. People are not disguised under ulterior motives. People don't really come with malice. You don't even know why y'all really met, but really hit it off, to be honest with you. So with that separation, no, I didn't talk to a single female for almost a year and a half. Like I said, I hit the gym. See, I'm good for brotherhoods. I grew up in sports. I grew up around my uncles, the tios. I'm always like clamoring towards male-on-male bond.
It's legal in California now.
Not that kind of bond. You know what I'm saying? I call that, being confused. Ain't no confusion here. And, to everyone's their own, you know what I'm saying? If you don't like it, fuck you anyways. Like, me personally, it's just simple. I truly believe if there was nothing but healthy male bonds and relationships, we wouldn't be dabbling in that funny style right there is just how I put it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to put some respect on it because, to everyone's their own, man. But I think there's just confusion going on because, see, I love my brothers. I love my biological brother. I hold him in such high esteem, like he's a better man than me. Okay? And I can look at my brother eye to eye, shout it across the gym. And we do. We actually do. It's been years, Brother, I love you. I love you. I admire you. I respect you. And I can say with gratitude, I'm thankful you're in my life. Right there. I hug up on you. You know what I'm saying? There is no fear in putting love out from me to another man. Okay? No hesitation. No hesitation. And if I can love a man, I can love a woman. You know what I mean? That simple. Ladies, for the love of life, men get along more with men than with y'all. Y'all are really burdensome when it comes to friendships because you cannot provide what a male does. Okay? Just accept the roles as men should too. And that's why I didn't have to run to women. I had male friends. Now, cut out the bad apples, the drinkers, drug users, right? And the manipulators. It's not a gender thing. It's just the manipulators because they're self-sabotaging and destructing their own lives. Misery loves company. Guess what they're teaching you or rubbing off on you? So that's why the gym was so important for me because I was able to now come across brothers that were on that same mission, that were also on that same lane of self-salvation and healing, even like you did, brother. Like, you've come such a long way. You know, like me personally, you know, for people to hear, I'm proud of you. From those little conversations we had, from you opening up as I did with you, and vulnerabilities, you know, letting each other know some of that stuff, you have made nothing but progress. Bro, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? As other men do too. And I don't know, I just seen the greatness in you. You could just feel it. It was the discernment. I didn't have to judge you. And I know you're an amazing man. And that's why I said, every time, I didn't act brand new. Never act brand new. Even if I'm in a rush, even on my worst days that I was in the gym and I was just going to fucking hell, bro, still make sure I would look at you and go dab you up, shake your hand or something. You know, because that's love. That's what I lead off. I lead with love. And women, y'all crazy. It hasn't been all that good. It hasn't, you know, because there's a lot of healing that people need to do. And there was a person that came into my life that needed so much healing, and I wanted to save them and help them. You get what I'm saying? And I wasn't able to.
So let me ask you, just from one dad to another, and not throwing shade at all. You saying that your kids aren't in your daily life and that you don't see them as often as you would like to. What's stopping you?
Many things. I am proud of the man I have been becoming. I will say I'm proud of that, because I just stopped running to people. But I just stopped running to people. I ran back to God. I'm not trying to sound religious, because it has nothing to do with religion. I ran back to what matters the most. I stopped being a human, brother. I started worried more about who I'm being, my inner being, right? My soul. I'm useless if I'm not usable, brother. That's it. You can't be useless, bro. That makes you worthless. Okay? So as a man, learn to teach those how to fish. Okay? If we're not fishermen, that's an analogy for teach a man how to cook, self-sustain. You know? Teach these men how to face their inner demons. I made my demons my bitch. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, what's been stopping me is that this vision has to really play itself out, man, because it's not about just visiting my children. It's about hitting that grand slam.
How are you making sure that you're there for them, not just physically, but emotionally as well, mentally? Because being 12 and 11, or 11 and 10? 12 and 11.
12 and 11.
And they're coming at that age where if it hasn't, puberty's going to hit. Puberty's going to hit like a bitch. Just to make sure that your kids know that you're always there, even though you physically may not be. You know, what are you doing in that aspect to know where they won't hold any resentment towards you later on? Because you know what, my dad was away.
I'm here. I'm a phone call away. They have their own phones. They text me, they call me. Mom and dad fix that issue, you know, when they need it fixing. They're able to communicate with me anything and everything. Anything and everything. We have a creator. We have something that is higher than us, that is their judgment. Who am I to judge my children? I'm their father. That means even before I decide to be their friend, I got to make sure I help steer and guide themselves in reality. One of my children does have a girlfriend. Okay, so like I said, I'll speak on something, you know what I mean? And all I said is, how do you feel about it? Do you feel about it?
She gives me a funny tingling feeling, Dad.
This is the cutest little responses they can give you, you know what I mean? But it's just understanding that my children feel safe within their own walk of life. There ain't no need to lie to them. Ever. Before. That is something very detrimental to a child's psyche. And I got to teach them to be spiritual. Trust your instinct. Trust your gut. You know? If you're angry or upset at somebody, come talk to me. Okay, I'm not your therapist. I'm better than your therapist. Therapists don't know you. Mom and dad know you better than anybody. They could talk all the shit that we don't know our children. You know our children less than we do. So what does your opinion matter? Get what I'm saying? When it comes to our kin, man, fuck the world. Fuck the world.
Because they're our world, man.
Exactly, bro. See, we only borrow this planet from the youth. Facts. We're building it or destroying it for the youth. Our youth are only literally inheriting the damages and shit we leave behind. That's how relationships work as well. You know, so for my children, as we're getting to this bag, securing that home run, you know, a real foundation. It's never too late to get your shit together. It's never too late to build an empire. Okay, and that's the mission. That's the goal of the empire. Leaving behind a legacy, LLCs, property. You know, that's for the kids, man. You know, hopefully our children are gonna bask in our success and reality. Because I ain't doing this shit for no punk ass man out there or some punk ass girl. You ain't gonna come into my world and take from me. I ain't got shit to offer you except some life lessons or some blessings. You get what I'm saying? If I hurt you, I do apologize. If we're able to make amends, I will make them. If we can't, leave it there. I don't entertain this shit no more. Okay? Kids are watching and listening to us. Not just on TV, not just on podcasts. We're influencing every day. Even though a kid never laid eyes on the first time, we're literally influencing them. That's why I like being strong-bodied, strong-minded, strong-willed. You know, I'm someone to not be played with, and that is something I do teach my children. Don't let no one play with you, ever. So it's been hard. It's been nothing but challenges and obstacles. We have a long-distance relationship. Of course it affects them. Of course it affects me. It affects their mother, the family dynamics. So I do my best right now. The already happened has happened.
Can't change it.
No, that's why I said if I can make amends for it, then I am and I will. Till then, it's all work. Overtime on overdrive. You know, so my kids, they can call me, text me anytime of the day, night, hour, don't matter, right? They're someone I'm always going to be available for too. And, you know, for those that want to throw that shade or, well, you're not there physically, you're not there. I know, but I'm not in clubs and bars. I'm not dating. You could put me all over the internet pages right now. Like, do you talk to this guy? Is this guy?
The loyalty test.
Man, it's not even that. Even for all the troublemaking people out there, hateful, spiteful, trying to start shit, vindictive, whatever I'm saying, like, you ain't going to find me in DMs. You ain't going to find me on profiles. You ain't going to find me doing none of that shit. This man ain't living like that. You asked earlier, like, how's that girl life? What about girls? You know, so what I'm saying is, like, I have a brotherhood that I'm working on. And this brotherhood is working on sisterhood. I ain't dating. I'm even telling women, why are you trying to date? Don't trust men out here right now. They're not men, they're boys. Boys, don't trust these women out here right now. They're not women, they're girls. There's a lot of maturity and growing that has to happen and done. This nation alone, too far from how healed it needs to be. For my kids, that's what I'm trying to teach them and show them. So I took a step back in life and just pretty much just said, hey, I'm going to do my best to cut everyone out of my life. That's why I said I ran to God. Find my purpose, my divinity, and it is being a life coach, a mentor. You know, with all the mileage I got on me, changed many tires. You know what I'm saying? But if we can influence each other as men, then we are influencing women. We need this country to be safe again. We need our children to be safe again. And it starts with us men.
It's a nasty world, man. And we got to do our part in raising our kids right, because they're the future.
I agree with you because, like, you know, my son asked me, he was, Dad, I asked mom if I did something, cops looking for me. I remember my mom told me this once too. You know, her mom's response. The cops come looking for you, I'm going to tell them where you at. Right? And I was like, how dare you? Right? Me, my son asked me, Dad, said, man, you better come to me first. I'm going to hide your ass. Now I got to find where me and you got to hide. I ain't turning shit in. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that shit.
I think that'd be my mentality too.
Look, first, I'll ask after the fact, why the fuck you fuck up? All I need to know is you fucked up because I'm your dad. So I got to help you fix your fuck up. And we live in a world where they will punish you in ways maybe you don't deserve to be punished. It could be done differently or went about, but they'll throw your whole life away. You know, our children ain't even have a life yet.
I'm trying to teach my son right now. He's only 7, but we follow wrestling and stuff, right? And if I'll tell him, hey, Jeff Hardy got arrested for a DUI, right? He's, what's a DUI? He was driving drunk. Mm-hmm. And I'll use little moments like that where I'll tell him, I don't want you to drink, but I know at some point you're going to drink. I don't want you to, but if you do, call me. I'll pick you up.
Right.
Don't think that I'm getting in so much trouble. I have to hide from my dad. I can't let him. No, because I don't want you to get in a car drunk. I don't want you to get trying to find a ride with someone who's drunk. You can always call me, and then we'll figure it out later.
100%.
I will go. I'll pick you up. Sure, I might yell at you, but the most important thing is that you're safe. So it doesn't matter if you're in high school and you're trying to drink. I'm not letting you drink, but if you go and you do that anyway, because I've been there. Know that you can call me. I will go pick you up.
100%.
You know, so having that instilled in their mind.
I agree with you. That, like, you know, touching up a little bit earlier, that's the point. The point is we should be one of the first you run to, period. Okay? We're not here to fuck you over or, you know, no matter how many times maybe we had to ground you or show a little discipline. That was for the better part of health in totality. You know, but you come to me because no parent should bury their child first, right? A child should be burying their parent. And then at the second point to that is we've lived a lot more life than they have. It's really our obligation to make sure they don't throw their life away. Like I just said earlier, you know, by something like hurting someone so bad, you get arrested, you get life in jail.
Where are we hiding the body, son?
I got this part figured out, man. You better go just chill out over there. You've done enough, you know, and you know what I'm saying? Well, regardless how people feel about that, it is what it is. And that's just, you know, where we're really at. And yeah, you know, it's such a cruel world. Like, it's just, the world is filled with madness, just absolute madness, you know, and that's why I said I had to develop myself a lot more. And all I did was ground myself in reality. That would be a perfect way to put it. I grounded myself. I didn't need my parents to ground me no more. Discipline went in full-blown blossom. You know, there is no balance without discipline. And I think that's man's greatest Achilles heel, lack of discipline. You know, like I don't want to hurt nobody, and even those trying to hurt me, trying to ruin me, shame on you. You know what I mean? Like, we're not out here putting that into the universe and into the world. We really want to better ourselves, those around us. You know, we're very useful men. Okay, I hold the door open for everybody. I don't care your color, age. I don't care if you're the last person in the parking lot. We locked eyes. Damn, now I got to hold the door open. You know
they got that little jog.
Yeah, hey, and I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Because you parked way the fuck over there. And that's my point, though. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a gentleman at heart. You know, my mentor is very simple. You can use me because I'm a useful man. You know, I come with knowledge. I come with wisdom. I come with some insight and enlightenment. And I'd rather share it. I'd rather give it. I really rather give back. You know, orchestrate in the sense of community, get along in society. That's that I'm someone that doesn't even want to make friends. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need friends. I only need friends to do business. That's just business. You got to trust a little bit. So friends come for business, but true friends are family, right? Like, you develop a brotherhood. Like I said, there's some integrity behind this shit, a type of brotherhood and a type of way of life that we could trust each other. You know, you look to that person's story, heart their little post or something of them being a family man or, in my case, I don't post too much, but when I post, it's just really to remind people, one, fuck you, I'm still alive. Two,
And I'm only getting better.
100% OGB, only getting better. That's the only way to acquiring only God's blessings. And I just truly believe that everyone should really focus and take the time to really sit there and reflect on all their mistakes and errors they committed. Stop pointing the finger. Stop worrying about you work so hard. You've been behind that desk for X amount of hours. Man, shut the fuck up, man. You guys are way tougher, more resilient than that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go to clubs and bars. That's just there to kill your soul. You're not being a parent. You're not. All those stories and excuses you're making about, oh, you don't understand. You're the only one that doesn't understand. Okay? Because those of us that understand, we don't go to clubs and bars no more. I don't need an excuse about, like, it's okay. It's okay to be a good parent. It's okay to stop making excuses. It's okay to step your life up. But what's not okay is you want to bypass those okays to okay yourself for still being the lesser version of yourself.
I had like this irrational fear. Maybe it's not so irrational, but I stopped going. So whenever my son would leave to go to his mom's house, granted, it'd be for a day or two, right? The hardest fucking day or two that I've ever had. It was just lonely days, lonely nights. Really lonely nights because go to the gym or go do whatever I'm going to do. But then when you come home to an empty house, no one's there. Maybe their toys are still left out from earlier. Fucking me up, man. And I've had friends like, hey, I'm going to go to a bar, Nah, I don't do that anymore. So even though he wasn't there, in my mind, it'd be some shit if I go to a bar and I get taken out by a drunk driver because my dumbass is out on a Saturday night when my ass shouldn't be out on a Saturday night. Granted, it could happen when I'm going to Target to buy some Funko Pops or something, right. But why take that risk of going to a bar, exposing myself in that environment when I have someone who's at home relying on me? So a lot of lonely nights. It was a lot of lonely nights, a lot of nights where my mental health went to shit. And I never struggled with mental health. But I think when he left, when he would leave me, I'm like, okay, I think this is what mental health is.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Like, it's like I was saying earlier, right? Those little voices you hear, little footsteps. That's when you have it bad. That's not even just mental health being affected. That's spiritual health being affected. Okay, you know what I'm saying? In your case, I attest and relate to that because it's like, oh, how's that? How's it with the girls now? Well, it's lovely because if they have children, they know they're gonna get an earful from me. What the fuck is you doing partying and clubbing? What the fuck is you doing entertaining guys for right now? Sister, you're far from healed. Sister, you really need to up your life again, especially more for your children. You guys are just rubbishing by for your kids. Like, who cares if you still spend hundreds of dollars on your makeup? Who cares if you want to constantly be showing some skin and stuff like that? You're still not physically that healthy. You can weave up all you want to. You can dye your hair all you want to. All them Frito-Lay, Funyun-style nails and all the crazy shit they got going on. We don't care. No guy wants to respect you for that at all. These men are barely respecting themselves. You women are just in competition with each other. So it's dodo bird on dodo bird. Okay, because you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. You think your son gives a fuck about you being in a skirt? You think your daughter gives a fuck that you got guys that only want to fuck you in your DMs? A lot of you girls, if you're watching this shit and you follow me and you have parents and you guys go every other weekend to the clubs or with your girls, your children are going to be the ones that don't help take care of y'all when you're old and need to be taken care of because no man's going to take you on no more. I'll say that one more time. For the parents out there, when your children get a little older and they get their bag up, they might not hate you now, but they're going to hate you when you need them the most. That's why I said I had to change my life forever, bro. I have to answer to some shit no matter what. My children at least know. They call me 1 a.m. Dad, you still in the gym? All the fucking gym noises coming down, right? Yes, I am, son. So in essence, you asked me. You think you're going to have to answer to them being mad and upset about some shit? Absolutely. But I tell you what, though, as I'm securing this vision, And as they get older, they're not going to hate me. They're going to say, all right, Dad, all you did was work. Kind of like my dad did. I don't hate my dad no more, man. I'm blessed and I'm grateful and I'm thankful. Wish I had him more in my life, absolutely. Because we lived in the same household, brother. What was the difference between me living in another state versus my dad? It felt like he was in a different state. So I think that's what it is, man. Worry about legacy as a father, because your children are your legacy.
I was going to ask you if you have any final words here, but I think that's a good place to stop there.
100%.
You talked about following you. Where can people find you if they want to follow you?
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on Instagram, Only Getting Better Original. I'll have a couple of links here up and going. I'm really getting ready to really come out with all of it and whatnot. So, I want everybody to know to look forward to OGB Enterprises, Only Getting Better. Hopefully we start a real brotherhood and sisterhood.
That's different than ODB, right? Old Dirty Bastard.
He was amazing. I still listen to him, just believe it or not. Hey, Dada, I want my money. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, though, is that, yeah, man, hopefully y'all can help join and make this successful, which is a real movement, essentially. Hopefully this becomes a global brand because it's really organic. It's really your guys' brand. If you ain't only getting better, do not buy my shit.
And go and follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Dada and Boy Podcast.
Please do.
We're trying to grow this year. So for Daniel, I'm the dad with the A. I'll see y'all next week.